Hey, the Rollers DMO73 here, bringing you a showdown today between myself on my second take with Moonglow with Blue Glow versus Josh Fury and his Alex Thiriamh list. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, and to our guest lecturer members, Vite class is in session. So as we get into it here, just a little bit of a rundown. Josh Fury is running back with red, black, blue Thiriamh with Alex. Very Cthulhu, very driven, as indicated by his playmat. And I am playing a blue version of Moonglow. The idea here is, rather than going for the green control, we're trying to be more aggressive with our Nighttime Raiders and Adalbert, and also having a little bit more defensive options. So not necessarily trying to prevent our opponent from playing, but more punishing them for playing with like good advantage-wise, and also making them have to be the one trying to answer us with a consistent threat, while we continue to just maximize value thanks to Moonglow's setup here. Josh making use of some cool new tools with like the new sub-ruler to get him, or the new Fate Regalia to be able to get himself some additional limit counters. With Alex is really nice, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started here. So some of the things is, you'll note there's no Garians in this list with Blue Glow. We are playing making use of our wonderful little abilities here with Fire Pit Trap getting off at the beginning. One thing to note about Fire Pit Trap that you'll notice from this match is it's actually something you don't always want to just put out with Moonglow. Based on the matchup, it might actually make more sense to just let it stay unrevealed. Just something to keep in mind there, and hopefully this mess helps you there. So turn one, we do see that Yggdrasil Heroic Spirit. This is going to help to get him go grab that green Jade. Again, we're playing a very heavy Alex Cthulhu version, so we want that green Jade as fast as possible. We're going to set a free card face down. That's probably going to be an Adalbert just to kind of set things up, and then Yggdrasil's going to come down here. He is searching for that Regalia to be able to pitch for extra limit counters, which does mean he probably has a Jade in hand at this point. So we'll see exactly what Josh does there. We're just going to go ahead and pass the turn after setting our card face down. I do see a blue stone there. Decides to go ahead and spend the blue, interestingly enough, to go ahead and play Jade. It makes sense to use the blue here for Jade because, you know, if he is playing mirrors, then once he flips, he won't be able to use the mirror anyway. We're going to respond to the cast with Adalbert Lost in Another Dimension to start putting a card face down, get that pressure going. Jade's going to come out, get him a free stone, and if it wasn't tapped, we could see a Judgment this turn, but unfortunately, Alex is tapped. So we are going to see goes to play Yggdrasil here. I do not believe he, because it is a void card, I do think he could still play this with Green Jade, because he'd get to go search for another Regalia. At the end of the turn, we're going to pay 2 and flash in a Lucifer, kind of reset the life totals to be the same for both of us, 41-41, and we know that we're going to have to start attacking and blocking stuff, so it makes sense to start putting out those bodies. Calling our stone. Now we make a little bit of a misplay here, worried about the protect from the Yggdrasil. We go in for 4 in the air with Lucifer, and this is where the misplay is. We start thinking about it, and we're like, well, there's protect or everything else. We kind of psych ourselves out here, and we go for the Nighttime Raiders now, as opposed to if we had just swung with the Adalbert first, we could have gotten 800 damage, or, you know, seen that the Yggdrasil was getting popped, and then just done this Nighttime Raiders play into Squid.exe anyway. So hopefully, you know, we'll see if that lack of 800 damage kind of matters in the long run, but we are going to go ahead and pay black to put Adalbert back face down in response to the Squid.exe's enter effect, and then that's going to force Josh to discard a card. So we do get some good value here. We have the Squid.exe out, which will start generating our extra counters. We got rid of the Yggdrasils. We're going to get to start making those big blockers. It will help for, you know, when the Thiriamh is out here, being able to keep Squid.exe alive, particularly. Double checking that Nighttime Raiders cheating in the Squid.exe won't result in me taking 600. And from there, we just kind of pass. This is what I mean about the idea of we set up the Nighttime Raiders for Squid.exe, and now she's kind of an ever-present threat while I continue to just set up a value engine with Moonglow. Now, in this particular matchup, it is a little bit weird because of the fact that Thiriamh is such a beater, and I have to be attacking Thiriamh, so it doesn't work quite as well because his life total doesn't super matter if I have to just keep swinging at Thiriamh. We do see that silver key before recovery, add some limit counters to Alex, which will give, you know, Thiriamh some extra limit counters when he judgments. Using the Jade here to perform judgment, so Thiriamh is going to come out. Has a lot of limit counters on him right away. Starts with 5 plus 2 plus 2, so he'll have 9. Gets to ramp a stone into play tapped. Still has some will to be able to make use of. Now he has to be careful here. He wants to try to get this thing tapped, so I have to attack it, and he does happen to have it with Maddening Whispers, or Maddening Bark. He is going to be able, he is going to have to take 600 damage because he's using it with Mastery. And we're seeing exactly what we're going to do in response there. We're going to pay 200. Set a card face down just to get those cards out of my hand, and then we're going to choose that we're going to remove 2 cards from the game face down, and then draw 0 cards because it's the number of cards in my hand minus 2. Josh is going to pass the turn. We're going to get another token. It's going to be really hard for this field to be able to answer just how many counters he's going to have. But we are going to put our card face down for free, and then God's Art to draw 5 cards, which is really nice when we just got Maddening Barked. Gives us quite a few options here. We're going to have to start swinging into this Thiriamh. So we're going to sack a token to Squid.exe to be able to take a counter off of it because it has Eternal, and then we'll crash the other token into it because we have to. Squid.exe is going to get to generate us another counter at the end of turn. And then we'll just pass, leaving up 2 will and taking 200 damage from Fire Pit. And then at the end of the turn, we have to use the Expel Stone because we are at Lunar Eclipse to draw 2 and expel 1. So we started the turn with 0 cards, and we still have, you know, 5 in hand and another additional card face down here. So working really well here. Silver Key is going to come down, burn that counter to get. So essentially, you know, my swings were negated by just simply having another copy of Silver Key in hand. Now we're going to take some serious damage because Squid.exe is tapped. It would be the thing that blocks the best. I don't have Protect like he does, or at least his stuff did thanks to Alex. So Pierce is a big problem. Goes in with Thiriamh. That's going to trigger, lose a counter. In response to the trigger to recover, we're going to flash in a Lucifer. Drain 5, gain 5. And then it's going to recover, and we're going to go let him get whatever he wants out of the deck. Something with Thiriamh in its name, usually probably going to be at this point in time. If you're playing against a red deck, or maybe just any deck in general, you probably want to grab Bianchi as your first thing, because now this will be able to protect the Thiriamh. And yep, that's exactly what we grab. So Bianchi gets to come here. Thiriamh's shielded arm gets to come in and be able to redirect things that are single target. We're going to go ahead and block, except that we're going to lose 1,400 here, but it does force Josh to have to lose a limit counter and has to discard a card, discards another Jade. If he swings in again here, we're going to take some more damage, but it'll also remove 2 more limit counters. It'll go down to 5. So there's a world where, you know, based on what we see or what we have quick cast available or something like Throne, the outdoor hall, to be able to do multi-strike, we might be able to just hit this Thiriamh's Pack of Hounds. He is going to go ahead and do another Maddening Bark after drawing into the Thiriamhs, though, or playing the Thiriamhs. It's going to take another 600 from Fire Pit Trap. Now we got to see what we're going to do. We have quite a few cards in our hand. Seeing what we have here, we're going to accept that that is going to happen. We're going to pay 200, go down to 24. Try to put another card face down here before we get too much further. That we want to keep around. And then we're going to draw 2 cards, which will trigger Thiriamh's twice. What we do have in response to those 2 automatic triggers, though, is 2 copies of Dancing Crimson Flame. So we get to copy those. So not only do we lose 6, but also Josh loses 6. And then we get to get rid of the Thiriamh's Pack of Hounds. So very nice here, kind of resetting things, well, puts Josh in a position where, again, we're going to have 3 things that'll be able to attack, which is not enough, unfortunately. If we can ever get Thiriamh to only having 1 limit counter, though, that's a pretty good spot for us to be in, because he can't ever swing with it at that point in time, and then the pierce damage suddenly becomes less impressive, as long as he doesn't get any more ways to add more limit counters, of course. So right now we'd have to try to hit 6 more times somehow with only 3 bodies. Not super great. Even getting 2 or even getting 5 counters down and leaving him with only 2 puts us in a pretty good spot too, because then we could, you know, flash in something that can survive the block. He'd lose the counter from swinging and then have to lose the counter from taking damage. So also a possibility there. Deciding what card we want to put face down here. Have another Skibdis in hand, a Nighttime Raiders, and a high-speed uppercut. So not a lot of great options here in the hand. We don't want to take 6 for the uppercut because 1, we have to target, and 2, it'll hit us for 6 with the Fire Pit Trap. So we'll sack the token to be able to swing in to the Thiriamh. That will happen because it has Terrifying, so the Bianchi can't block it. The token will also have to swing into Thiriamh, hopefully get that done, get it down to 5 counters. Multi-strike on the Skibdis would have been great here, but unfortunately did not work out in our favor. He's going to thinks about attempting to flash in Rogue Spectator, but that would deal him 6, and he certainly doesn't want to go down to 4 life. It's not a good spot for him to be in. So he is just going to take the damage, go down to 5 limit counters. Setting a card face down. And at that point in time, we are going to pass the turn and make another token thanks to Skibdis. So we will at least be able to block 1 of the damages here, swinging at us for, it'll take us down to 2. We do have to expel 2 and draw 1 at the end of turn. I do think we might miss that here. We might catch it after recovery, though. He does have a Bastet in hand. This is not great for us, being that he can, oh yeah, there's the realizing that I have to draw 2 and expel 1. The Bastet here is going to put 5 limit counters, right? So this is a problem. It's now back up to 10. We've done all this work to try to answer the Thiriamh, and ultimately it's just going to happen. So he's already drawn for turn. In response to the Pack of Hounds, or to the Bastet, we're going to go flip up Adelbert, try to find a card to put it face down. Think about the Echo, but ultimately decide on an Underground Dealer to be put face down. We're going to try to punish that Thiriamh mandatory trigger. So the hope is that with Underground Dealer, we can at least deal another 400 damage, which again, if he had played the Rogue Spectator, would actually be a good spot for us, right? We'd be in a position where Dealer could just respond to his Enter effect, search him. When he shuffles, he's going to take 4. That's the full 1,000 damage, and then we'd be good to go. But unfortunately, he did not end up casting that Rogue Spectator. So we do put the Underground Dealer face down. We let him put the 5 extra mana counters, or limit counters on. We say, yep, that is okay. We have a couple of nice blockers here. Nothing super great, though. Moves to recovery, potentially. Trying to see if we're doing anything else before recovery. Does decide to kind of pump up Bianchi. We're not super concerned about that right now. We're mainly trying to consider destroying the board. Looking at his hand, look at the graveyard, seeing exactly what we want to sequence here. Could choose to just call stone. It's a little bit risky for him right now. But he does decide to say, let's get pressure. And he swings in. It triggers. We'll respond to the trigger by using our other red source to go ahead and flash in that hideous dealer. Mainly reason is because, again, stealth works ambush works very similarly to stealth. It doesn't have to be set for a full turn. So because I grabbed it with Adelbert, I can just set it. When he goes to search his deck, he only gets to look at the top 4. I get to draw a card. It's going to deal 400 damage to him, takes him down to 6. Doesn't target, so that's what's really good here. Does see a pack of hounds in the top 4, but this is the nice part. It's going to deal 400 damage, and because we set it last turn, we have a Nighttime Raiders that can be used this turn. One of our things dealt damage. We can put a 5-cost or less Fire Resonator or Darkness Resonator into the field, and we are going to do that thanks to another Skibdis. We're going to respond to the trigger, the mythic trigger, to sack the other Skibdis for Eternal. And then we are also thinking about whether or not we're going to put this Adelbert back face down, or if we're just going to accept that we're losing some life here. Or accept that we're losing the body. I think because we have so many things that will be able to, because we're going to take damage, it makes more sense to... Oh, no, we are going to go ahead and put the Adelbert back face down by paying 2, go down to 14. And then Dealer is going to get destroyed. But also Pack of Hounds and Bianchi gets destroyed, which is really nice. The Skibdis will be able to block. I'll take 100. And then this is one of the weird things here that I can't quite remember. You know, looking at the top of it, I'm not entirely sure what happened with some life total elements here. Oh, wait, no, I do remember. I'm going to use red, reflip up the Adelbert to go and put another card face down. The Adelbert will be able to block for 6 and take me down to 2 life. Life total seemed a little bit weird here. I think I might have missed something in the edit or even in the moment. So we'll block, we'll double strike, get rid of 2 counters. We'll go down to either 200 or 100 based on the situation. He'll take 2 at the end of the turn, thanks to Fire Pit Trap, and I make a token. So, here's the rub. Only having 100 life means that my stones kinda suck right now. So I have a couple of options. If I had, you'll see us kind of cycle through a couple of things here. If I had been able to if I could have called stone and had 2, like, if I'd seen any, really, of the outdoor halls, if I'd seen 2 outdoor halls, I could give 2 things multi-strike and kill Thiriamh and win the game here, right? The problem is right now with the amount of will I have 1, which would be fine because I could also do judgment, but I don't have the life total for it. So I'm in this position where I have multiple ways I have a way to get to hitting it 5 times, but I don't have the life total to support it. And because the Adelbert is dead, I also just can't ping it with Adelbert's enter effect because I needed to survive. So, but I also can't pass the turn because then I'll take damage from Fire Pit Trap. And I didn't see anything in the form of, like another Lucifer or something else like that. So I have to think about exactly what I'm going to do here. How I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to have to crash everything into it anyway. Won't have any blockers. I mean, I'm dying to my own Fire Pit Trap. And this is what I mean before. The 2 moments of this match. 1, playing Fire Pit Trap, I think actually ended up costing me this game. Like, to put me in this position. Because I took some damage off my own Fire Pit. And 2, not swinging in with that Adelbert at the beginning. Because you see, if he hadn't... if he had protected, it wouldn't have mattered. We would have been in the same position. But if he chose to take the damage anyway, then also he would have been 400 less life, right, than he would be now, and so we would be at the lethal. So little couple of nuanced, subtle, situational things that have put me in this really awkward position, mainly because of my own Fire Pit Trap risking me to die. Now, Adelbert would be great here if it stopped anything from being able to put me down to 0 life that was in effect, but it's only the ones that your opponent controls. So, unfortunately, Adelbert does not protect from Fire Pit Trap. Otherwise, we'd be in a really good spot. Open ourselves up for some really interesting positions here, because again, we could just go get another hideous dealer with an Adelbert, right? And then cast that. And then, you know, we'd also draw 2 options to be able to see ourselves on Lucifer to be able to use during his turn. Like, lots of cool Neo tricks here. But unfortunately, Fire Pit Trap is setting ourselves up to die, so we have to figure out what we're going to do this turn, or if we're just going to call it a day. We're going to start with a mirror. We're going to start with mirror here. Again, this makes me think that my life total tracking on the day might have been a little bit wrong here. Try to draw into another card just to see if maybe we see a Lucifer. Ultimately, though, we did not. Otherwise, we would have just snap hard casted here. So we do what I have never done in my entire history of playing this game before in a game 1, which is we're going to call stone. Should have called stone first because it didn't really matter either way. There would have been the blue source, right, for the mirror, even if it mattered with life totals. We're going to do something we've never, ever seen before. I've never done it in my 11 years playing Force of Will, and that is we're going to force a game 1 draw. We're just going to play Outdoor Hall of the Bandit King and burn us both for 6 and say, let's try again in game 2. So, certainly an interesting option there. Josh choosing to go second gets that extra, or actually I choose to put Josh on the coin here. I'm gonna go ahead and just to give me more time to set more cards face down before Josh can really get into it, and his coin doesn't really do much. So we'll see what he has here. Call stone. We do see a pass, and you notice no Fire Pit Trap this time around. You see an Adelbert come down here, we're gonna get aggressive. Setting another card face down, attempting to go to combat. We flash in a Lucifer. We're gonna go ahead and curse mirror the Lucifer, get that out of there, and then swing in for 8, take him down to 42. And set another, set our second card, say pass. Unfortunately, no blue here from Josh, and also no Yggdrasil off the top, so that puts us in a position to just get aggressive again, flip out another Adelbert. Doing this on Josh's turn, we draw for turn, move to recovery, call stone, and attempt to move straight into combat. In response to going to combat, though, we are going to see that high-speed uppercut treatment try to hit one of the Adelberts. We're going to respond by producing black here to set our card face down, the one that he's targeting, which means the other one can be able to attack, because there's no shared race among the target, because there's no legal target, so we get to get in there for 800 damage. Take Josh down to 36. For recovery, we're going to see Silver Key get pitched. Finally hits a blue source, which will be nice if he can get into a Yggdrasil, which he does. But we can respond to that with that very first Adelbert got us on Hideous Dealer. We wanted to say, look, you are clearly relying on searching a little bit. We'd like to punish that. So let's see if he gets a Regalia off the top 4. Unfortunately, does not see the Regalia, so we get to burn him for 4 and be in a good spot, not have to worry about him playing a Jade. If he had had a Jade, he probably would have played that first. And just to put a body on board, we see a Bastet, the Goddess of Cats, trying to get something out here. burning the coin, leaving up one will open. We're going to go ahead and try to flip up that other Adelbert here, and we're going to high-speed uppercut the Bastet, get that out of the way. Both drain a little bit of life. Set another card. We're just saying, look, we're going to capitalize on the fact that you do not have Thiriamh out yet. We want to get as aggressive as possible here. This puts us in a really good space. And also the other thing too about Adelbert is Adelbert with his ping ability and multi-strike could really knock out an early resisted Thiriamh pretty nicely. We do see a protect with the first Adelbert. We got a free protect off the second Adelbert with the Rogue Spectator, and we did get a free Nighttime Raiders with the Underground Hideous Dealer, which is very, very nice. See another stone, so still no Jades here. Really unfortunate. Kind of shows that Thiriamh really needs Jade to be able to turn on the deck. Otherwise, it's just kind of drawn dead a little bit. We do see a Pack of Hounds. And we see, unfortunately, having to cast a Yogg-Sothoth just to try to get bodies on board to not get rushed down here. The Adelberts alone representing 1,600 damage is not a good spot. We are going to see another high-speed uppercut come down here, knock both of those guys out. We're going to flash in the Rogue Spectator. We're going to do pretty much anything we can to just try to rush down this turn. We're going to flash in a Lucifer, which is going to drain. We're going to flip out an Echo, or we're going to flip out the Echo here, which is going to buy us back one of our high-speed uppercuts. We're going to draw for turn. And at that point in time, this is pretty much it. There's nothing really he can do here. It's 16 off of just the Adelberts, plus another 14 there. And yeah, and then the Adelberts can ping him to finish it off. So that is the game. Ended in a cool way. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And the Adelbert profile will be up later this week. But until next time, this is DMO73 saying class dismissed.